Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Prakash Kulkarni's lectures. Today in social science history section we are studying unit 2, the extension of the British rule. In this episode we will be studying the following topics: Anglo-Maratha Wars 1st, 2nd and 3rd, Lord Wellesley's subsidiary alliance, the consolidation of the British power, Anglo-Sikh wars, Lord Dalhousie's doctrine of lapse, no succession rights for the adopted children. Through Carnatic wars, the English had made other European countries not to challenge them in India. They gained complete political control over Bengal through Plassey and Buxar battles. By 1765, they had gained control most of the eastern parts of India. Since the Marathas and Mysore states were dominant in southern and western part of India, the hold of British was restricted to Bengal and Bombay regions only. You can see and study the map here towards your right side. After the Carnatic Wars, the Battle of Plassey and Buxar, the prominent kingdoms were Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan of Mysore, the Peshwas of Marathas, the Sikhs in the northwestern region, among them Ranjit Singh. Ranjit Singh was successful in organizing the Sikhs. The above kingdoms were the only impediments in the path of expansion for the British. The British also waged repeated wars from the mid of 18th century to mid of 19th century to extend their empire. They also annexed various kingdoms with cunning policies like subsidiary alliance and doctrine of lapse. During this period, the British waged 3 Anglo-Maratha wars, 4 Anglo-Mysore wars and 2 Anglo-Sikh wars. First Anglo-Maratha War between 1775 to 1782. The Marathas installed Shah Alam II back on the throne of Mughal Empire in Delhi. Shah Alam II, you can have a look at his picture, at the picture of Shah Alam II. Shah Alam II was under the care of the British officer after the defeat of Buxar War. The emperor gave Kora and Allahabad to Marathas, which he had earlier given to the British. This resulted in the enmity between the Marathas and the British. During this period, the death of Maratha strongman Madhavrao Peshwa was a major setback to Marathas. You can see picture of Madhavrao here. Though his brother Narayan Rao came to power, he was murdered by his uncle Raghoba, known as Raghunath Rao is also known as Raghoba. This resulted in the infighting for the Peshwa post. The Maratha Federation brought Madhavrao II, son of Narayan Rao, to the post of Peshwa. Raghoba approached the British for support. The British thought of exploiting this situation in their favor. After a war was waged from 1775 to 1782, that is 7 years war between the Marathas and the British. Initially, though Marathas gained upper hand, later they had to lose Allahabad to the British. The Marathas Federation was unable to sustain war with the British. Finally, it entered Salbhai Agreement and ended the war. Madhavrao too was named as the Peshwa. Lord Wellesley between 1798 to 1805. The expansion of the British Empire took place in a larger pace after the arrival of Lord Wellesley as the Governor General of India. By this time, the powerful states of Marathas and Mysore had become weak, and the expansion was easier to Lord Wellesley. Lord Wellesley followed three policies to expand the British Empire in India. They were: first one is subsidiary alliance, second one waging war against new states, and third one administering the states directly that were under their control. The conditions of subsidiary alliance. The Indian king had to keep the British army in his kingdom. The concerned state had to bear the expenses of the army and the wages of soldiers, and also had to give certain revenue lands as well. The king had to have a British resident in his court. The king could not appoint any other European without the permission of the British. In order to enter any agreement or pact with any Indian government, the permission of the Governor General was mandatory. Mandatory means compulsory. In return of all these services, the company would offer protection to the state from any internal or external aggression. The results of subsidiary alliance. The British could place Indian state under their control through this policy, and the maintenance of the army became easy. The Indian states were subjected to severe economic exploitation. Hyderabad state was the first state to enter this agreement. Later, Mysore, Awadh, Tanjore, Maratha, Pune, Berar, Gwalior, and other states entered this agreement. Second Anglo-Maratha War between 1803 to 1805. Now study this map very carefully here. You can see in the middle Nizam's dominions. North of Nizam we have got Maratha Confederacy. It's a very big confederacy, and towards the southeast is Carnatic region. Now let's come to this topic now. The reason for the second Anglo-Maratha War was the differences among the Maratha chieftains. An enmity broke out between Yashwantrao of Holkar family and Daulat Rao of Scindia family, along with Peshwa Balaji Rao too. Now here please see Holkar, Scindia and Peshwas of Pune. So there were a rivalry between these three. In 1802, the army of Holkar defeated the army of Scindia and the Peshwa. The Peshwa appealed for the help from the British. Lord Wellesley finally got an opportunity to meddle with the affairs of Marathas. The Peshwa entered the subsidiary alliance system by accepting the Treaty of Bassein. Other Maratha families like Holkar, Gwalior, and Bhosle formed an alliance opposing this treaty. Lord Wellesley defeated the armies of various Maratha families from 1803 to 1805, but his battle thirstiness increased financial burden on the company. On being criticized for this policy, Lord Wellesley resigned from his post and returned to England. This resulted in peace in the region. Third Anglo-Maratha War, 1817 to 1818. The Maratha families tried their best to protect their independence and honor. Even the Peshwa attempted to free himself from the clutches of the company. The Peshwa attacked the British residency in Pune and burnt it down. Appa Sahib of Nagpur and Mallar Rao Holkar rebelled against the British and were suppressed ruthlessly. Finally, Peshwa Bajirao too fought against the British at Koregaon and Asti and later surrendered to the British. The British abolished the Peshwa post and granted a pension to Bajirao too. They installed Pratap Simha, the descendant of Shivaji, as the ruler of Satara, a minuscule state, and named him as the traditional leader of Marathas and suppressed the Maratha resistance. This is most important point to remember. The consolidation of the British power from 1818 to 1857. The British completed their agenda of ruling the entire India from 1818 to 1857. They occupied major states like Sindh, Awadh, and many other smaller states. Anglo-Sikh Wars. A political anarchy broke out in Punjab after the death of King Ranjit Singh in 1839. You can have a look at the picture here. King Ranjit Singh's photo and also a map you can study very carefully, so they are very easy to remember. A political anarchy broke out in Punjab after the death of King Ranjit Singh in 1839. The British attempted to invade Punjab, violating the continuous friendship pact and they had with the erstwhile king. In December 1845, a war broke out between the British and Punjab. Sensing the danger from an outside force, Hindus, Sikhs, and Muslims got together to defeat the British. Finally, they had to accept defeat due to a few traitor leaders. They signed a humiliating Lahore Agreement in 1846, with the British resident became the de facto ruler of Punjab. Like this, Punjab became a dependent state of the East India Company. The Sikh opposed the attempts by the British to rule Punjab directly. The oppositions were led by Chattar Singh Atriwala in Lahore and Mulraj in Multan. Again, the people of Punjab were defeated. Finally, Lord Dalhousie merged the state of Punjab with the British Empire. Dalhousie and the Doctrine of Lapse. Please remember DD. Don't have please confusion. D for D. Dalhousie and Doctrine of Lapse. Similarly, Lord Wellesley. In Wellesley, double L is there. LL Wellesley. You remember Alliance. ALL. So Dalhousie and the Doctrine of Lapse. Dalhousie, who arrived in India as the Governor General in 1848, made an attempt to integrate India princely states with the British Empire. He adopted doctrine of lapse policy, whereby the adopted children of Indian kings were refused of their right to throne. According to this policy, if any Indian ruler dies without children, their adopted children had no legal right over the throne, and such state gets merged with the British Empire. The Governor General knew the conditions of these states, and he issued this policy as a political weapon. Dalhousie and the Doctrine of Lapse. With a severe implementation of this policy, not only the princely families but also ordinary people who were sympathetic to these kings rebelled against the company. Their love for their kings and the sense of loyalty fueled this rebellion further. This finally resulted in the Sepoy Mutiny of 1857. With this, we conclude this episode. Thank you. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get updates on new videos. Thank you once again.